So, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, all these intros I do here on this channel, and people keep asking me to say one bloody thing. And I've got no idea what to do for an intro for this video, so I'll finally say it for you. I normally say, finally, welcome back to another video. But I've had so many comments and so many of my friends say, James, you've got to say, finally. So here we go. Finally, we're back for another video. So that's right, hello, welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be doing an album review. If you can't tell from the stuff behind me, it's Paul Simon. I wanted to do someone who I haven't reviewed yet. I want to show you guys that I'm not always going to be doing the same artists. I do want to try and do some new artists. I've got another couple artists who I want to review an album from. Today I thought I'd just do Paul Simon because, well, we're going to be doing Graceland. This is a pretty simple album. Well, it's not a simple album, but it's a pretty common album. It's a pretty beloved album. It's one which a lot of people enjoy. I've actually had a few people ask me not only what is my opinion on Paul Simon, but what is my opinion on this particular album from Paul Simon. And while I find many of his albums actually more interesting, like Hearts and Bones and Rhythm of the Saints, I just felt like this is the obvious one to review first. So yeah, in this review we're going to do the usual. I'm going to give you a bit of information on the album. We're going to go over each track individually. We're going to mark each track individually out of 10. To show you my copy of the vinyl record, we're going to mark the artwork for this album out of 10. We're going to add it all up, which will give us an overall mark for this album out of 10. We're going to divide it by the total number of scores given, which will then give us our overall mark out of 10. I think I already said that. I messed up a bit. No album ranking board. The album ranking board is still not back. I still haven't found any software on my old MacBook that can make a ranking board like I had before. Again, if anyone has any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Preferably a free piece of software. I'm cheap. But anyway, let's get started with this album. So I'm not the biggest Paul Simon expert. I'm not the biggest expert on this album. I'm just going to do my very best with the information I know. So this was Paul Simon's 7th studio album, released on August 25th, 1986. It hit number 1 in the UK, and surprisingly, didn't hit number 1 in the US. It only hit number 3. But just before this album, well, while he was making this album, Paul Simon was at a real low point in his life, and it reflects in a lot of the lyrics on the songs, such as "I Know What I Know" and "You Can Call Me Al." You can really hear this in the lyrics. He'd had a mixed review reunion with his previous musician partner, Art Garfunkel, of course, Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, they had a very, very good reunion, but it was very mixedly received. Personally, I don't think it was anything too amazing, coming from my personal opinion. He had a marriage breakup, a very short marriage, with the late and amazing Carrie Fisher. And then his last album, Hearts and Bones, even though I actually like this album, I might even prefer this album to this one, I'm not 100% sure, it didn't do very well. So he was in a real low point here. So he needed something like this, really, because I'm sure he wasn't in a very good place. But anyway, as we all know, the album came out, it had a lot of different genres, a lot of influences on it. There's a lot of different sounds going on this album. There's a lot of African sounds. But then he dabbles in and out of other things. Of course, he touches on the classic 80s pop on this album and stuff. There's a lot of drum and bass. When I say drum and bass, I don't mean like house music. But the drums and bass play a major key on a lot of the songs on this album. And in 1987, it won Album of the Year. So I think it's fair to say he came out of a low point into his highest point. So, good job, Paul. The album consists of 11 songs, so let's get started. We're going to start with the first song, The Boy in the Bubble, which is a song about starvation and terrorism. Lovely, lovely way to start an album. But it has mixed feelings in the lyrics because even though it drops into those particular subjects, it's also a hopeful song, hope for the future kind of thing. Opens up with a really different feel from his previous album, Hearts and Bones. The vocals are really good on this song. The vocals on this album are a real mixed bag for me, as we'll discover. This is one of the best vocal performances on the album. However, the songs feels quite messy at times, and the production doesn't help because it's not very good. There's just times where I feel like Paul wanted he wanted this instrument in this part, and this instrument in this part, this instrument in this part, and they all ended up coming together in the same section in the song, and they weren't overlapped very well because the production wasn't that great, and it just feels a bit messy at times, this song. However, it's a good opener, it's a good tone for this album. I'm going to give this song a 7 out of 10. Then we go to Graceland, which I'm not 100% sure what the lyrics of this one are about. From my own observations, I can kind of agree with what Carrie Fisher said about it. Carrie Fisher talked about the song in her autobiography and said it was basically a summary of their short marriage. Also, another really interesting thing is the Everly Brothers do backing vocals on this, which is very cool. I like the Everly Brothers a lot. So, really fun to see them coming over onto this song as well. And it's a much better sounding song than the opening track, I think. It's got great bass work. The instruments play off each other so much better in this song. It feels really good. Feels a bit empty at times, but still a really good song. I'm going to give this song an 8 out of 10. Then we go to the song I Know What I Know, which has a really interesting guitar style, which I really enjoy. And the bass work, again, on this song is excellent. It's really good. But then we get to the backing vocals. And I know the backing vocals are meant to be an African-styled singer. Maybe this backing vocalist who's working with Paul on this particular song is actually really, or was really famous and really popular back then. But the fact is, he sounds awful as a backing vocalist with Paul Simon. Maybe with another musician, his vocals will work really well as a backing vocalist, but because Paul Simon's vocals are very minimal and very, very one-dimensional, and simplistic, when you add this crazy African backing vocalist over the top, it just generally doesn't gel well with Paul Simon's vocals, unfortunately. And unfortunately, because they're not bad vocals, but they're just awful put up against Paul. So they really take you out of the song when they hit the chorus, really take you out of it. But yeah, it's not a bad song, it's okay. It's just, as I say, when I hit the chorus, it really pulls me out of the song. And it's a shame, because the song's not that bad, really. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Then we got Gumboots, which is the most 80s feeling song yet, which I've got to give Paul Simon a lot of credit for. A lot of the artists of this time, especially like the classic rock ones that I talk about a lot here on this channel, like Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, ELO, Jeff Lynne, they all started to fall into that 80s trap where they were starting to put out really cheesy stuff. They were starting to die down their style for the 80s style, and they just generally weren't producing that great products. Whereas Paul Simon, done a very good job keeping to his theme here. However, of course, the 80s production does sneak in occasionally, expected to, and it sneaks in here for the first time, I feel. But it works well. It's not actually putting a dampener on the album or the song at all. But it's not a great song, though, this one, for me. The vocals, there aren't really vocals. Paul Simon's not the best vocalist, in my opinion, anyway. But here it's all, there's not really much singing going on. It's more him just talking. And I know that's how the song's meant to be. It's just I'd rather listen to someone sing when I put a song on. It gets a bit repetitive and ends up feeling a bit empty again. Again, I think that's to do with the production. The production on this album, even though it gels that African theme in really well, and I know some people are really going to stick up for the production on this album, but generally there are lots of parts in this album that feel empty. And this song, again, feels empty at times. There's big pauses where you just feel like nothing's happening and they didn't know what instrument to put in, what to do. They just thought, right, we've got a really interesting sound here, a mixture of different instruments. We're just going to let it play out. And that's fine, but it still feels a bit empty. But anyway, it's a decent song. Again, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And then we got Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, which starts with this African feel again. The backing vocals are amazing on this song, really good. And it's almost a shame when the instruments come in, because I love the first minute of this song, it's great. But anyway, the instruments come in and it's still fine. The production is a lot better. I love the horns that keep coming in on this song. It's really good. This is a much better song. This song flows better. Production is better. The structure is better. Everything about this song kind of flows a lot better than the previous two tracks. Unfortunately, I Know What I Know and Gumboots are a bit of a downer on side one. but they put it back at the end, and I'm going to give this song a 7 out of 10. Moving on to side 2, we get the very, very famous song, You Can Call Me Out, which I'm going to say straight up front, I know it's the hit, and I know it's the obvious choice, but it was a hit for a reason, this song. It was the single for a reason. This song is great. It's damn hellas catchy. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, because I can't criticise this song. I can't criticise it. It flows well. This is the best structured song. This is Paul Simon's best vocal performance. The horns work amazing. The backing vocals, the African singers, they do a fantastic job. The lyrics are really good. The lyrics, again, kind of are about a man having a midlife crisis, which is kind of what Paul Simon was going through at the time. It's just, this song works really well, like on every level. The production on it is amazing. I don't know how they got it so right on this song and then so wrong on others. Very interesting. I'm going to give it a 10. I can't fault this song. It's great. And then we go Under African Skies as our next track, where Paul is singing with a woman throughout a couple verses. I don't know the name of the woman. I'm sure someone's going to let me know in the comments below. But this is the best vocal performance on that entire album. Paul Simon works so well with other people. This is why him and Art Garfunkel were so popular when they were together. Paul Simon on his own, his vocals can carry songs really well, like on You Can Call Me Out, or sometimes they don't. It depends on what the song and the style and the performance is like. I feel like Paul Simon really has to try to pull people in when he's on his own. And when he's singing with this woman, it made me realise why I really enjoy Paul Simon as an artist. He works so well with her. Her vocals are beautiful. They're playing off each other so well. It's incredible. But unfortunately, then Paul Simon goes, I'm Paul Simon. Okay, I'm going to do a couple verses on my own now. Unfortunately, the song drops off a bit. The song also does a really weird thing about halfway through. There's like a 15 to 20 second gap where nothing's happening. I don't know why. It's baffling, to be honest, what it went through their heads with the structure of this song. It is baffling. Because the song starts off so well, and then it dips in and out of being good, and then it dips into some big pauses. It's like they come up with a minute song, didn't know where to go with it, so they put a load of other fluff in it. Saying that, it's an okay song again. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And then we got a track called Homeless, which is a great, great song. And I know that's going to surprise some people. Some people who are watching this review are probably going to say, like, you like that one? I have a lot of respect for this song, is what it is. This song, there's no instruments in it. It starts off with a group of singers, again, very African themed, singing. Paul comes in to sing a couple verses, but Paul doesn't do what he did on the last song. He doesn't take spotlight. I'm not criticising him for taking spotlight. I mean, look whose name is on the album cover. But he keeps the feel of the song really good here. He doesn't offend what's going on. He keeps it really real, and it sounds beautiful. It's a great sounding song. I really enjoy it. It is a really good listen. I respect it a lot. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And then we got Crazy Love Volume 2, which has some nice guitar work in this song. Good production. Flows well. And the song works really well. However, every time I listen to it, I end up zoning out in the last couple minutes. It's a song which just is very repetitive. And it kind of gets a bit boring in the end, I'm not going to lie. But it's a good song. I'll give it a 6. Then we got That Was Your Mother, which is a very upbeat and a real foot tapper song. I like this one. Good vocals on this one. Really good vocals. Has a really nice sax part in it as well. And it's just a really innocent song. I like it. I feel like I've been a bit harsh on this album, so I'm going to bump this one up. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I do enjoy this song. Every time it's on, I get my foot tapping. It's really fun. It's different. It's really unique for the time. Really unique for Paul Simon. I like it a lot. And then we've got the last track on the album. This is called All Around the World, or The Myth of Fingerprints. Quite a mouthful. But opens up with a really good drum beat, which carries this song really. Also has a great bass work to it. Some fantastic vocals from Paul. Almost like literally as You Can Call Me Out level of good. And it's a really easy listening song. I can't find too many flaws with this song. Production's quite good on this one. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So anyway, there's all the songs. Let's have a quick look at the vinyl record. There's not really too much to look at. It's my original pressing here. It's still got the hype sticker on. And it's still got the original price, $5.49. That's not what I paid. I paid £1 for it, I believe, in a car boot. No, actually, it was a little record fair. I got this one. Got it in a sleeve with all the lyrics in case you want to sing along. And of course, it's on the Warner Brothers label. And it's in very good condition, mine, I must say. Very good condition. So yeah, I'm going to give the artwork a 7 out of 10. It's nothing massively special here, but it's, you know, it's alright. So I've added up all the scores, the 11 songs, and then 12 for the album artwork. So I'm going to divide it by 12. And this album out of 10 is going to get for me a 7.3. So yeah, I know some people are going to say that's really low for the album, because I know this is a beloved album. And I know you guys, a lot of people are just going to hit the dislikes anyway, because I haven't been overly positive about this album. I do enjoy this album a lot, guys. I've given it a 7.3. That's quite good. I say anything above a 5 is good. Anything like 8 and above is like even better. So it's pushing it towards an 8. So for me, I do enjoy this album a lot. It's got some moments where it really shines. However, I'm going to be honest with you here, guys, because that's what I do. I just want to be honest with you, with everyone here on this channel. And, you know, if you love this album, which I know a lot of people do, that's fantastic. I'm not going to criticise you or tell you you're wrong, because you've got your opinion like I've got mine. And it's fantastic. I'm pleased you enjoy it. But for me, I would class this as an overrated album, unfortunately. It's a really good listen. I don't think it probably deserved Album of the Year. There was some other really good stuff that came out in 86 and 87. But it's a good album. I enjoy it a lot. It's really good. So yeah. There's my review of Paul Simon's Graceland. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye-bye.